Xin chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Bây giờ mình sẽ tô màu bức tranh con tinh tinh để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Mình rất mong rằng các bạn hãy ủng hộ kênh YouTube của mình bằng những lượt like và lượt đăng ký kênh khi xem video này. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Lease the 2024 BMW i5 you drive 40 for $719 per month now through January 2nd.
In what was billed as the MVP Bowl, one shined and one fluttered. Well, the passes did at least. Brock Purdy intercepted 4 times in a lopsided loss at home to the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, who is now the odds-on favorite to win the award. Purdy plummeting all the way to 5th favorite at 19-1. In studio alongside CBS NFL analysts Emery Hunt and Will Brinson. Fellas, not too many hairs to split coming off of this one. A decided advantage when we stack these two teams up, and that advantage goes to Baltimore on the road. Emery, what do you make of this emphatic statement specifically on the road tonight?
That the defense really stepped up and took away a lot of what San Francisco wanted to do. So you got to give credit to their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, and what he was able to do to really make them one-dimensional. Christian McCaffrey was a key factor early in the game. They started to take him away, which led to a lot of those Brock Purdy interceptions. And once they started to come, he started to roll downhill, snowball downhill. So they took away their best option, who I think is the MVP in Christian McCaffrey. They took him away, made Brock Purdy beat them throwing the football consistently, and he couldn't do that. So this defense, to me, really stepped up and made big play after big play, which is why they got the win.
You know, if you had told just about anybody that George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk both caught 7 or 6 plus passes for 100 plus yards, and Christian McCaffrey ran the ball 14 times for 103 yards and scored a touchdown, I don't think that many people would assume that the 49ers lost by double digits, by 2 touchdowns. But here we are. This is, I think, the most emphatic statement of the season from this Ravens team and this Ravens defense. We've seen them do this twice already this year to NFC teams. They did it to the Lions in Baltimore. They did it to the Seahawks in Baltimore. And both those teams were riding high when they came into Charm City. They got blown out. The Ravens took the show on the road here, went to San Francisco, and bludgeoned the 49ers. I mean, this game was, you know, this is supposed to be a delightful Christmas night special between the 2 1 seeds. And instead, look at the Grinch. Zay Flowers rolled into town and stole the presents from Whoville or Brockville. I mean, look, the Brock Lobster, man, he turned into a chunk of coal, throwing 4 picks. Felt like Jameis Winston out there for a little while. No offense to your boy, Emery, but yeah, I think this is just about as emphatic a win as you can have from this Ravens defense that said, all right, everyone was on the Niners. Everyone thought they were unstoppable. Let's pump the brakes a bit. We are a very, very good team that people, for whatever reason, just didn't want to really recognize.
A result notwithstanding, what stood out to me, the physicality and violence of this football game. These are 2 teams that can bang with just about anybody. I'm excited to see who can go toe-to-toe with both of them in their respective conferences, because still 2 very good football teams despite this result. We do have to talk about Purdy and the performance or lack thereof, Will. You did have 2 tip passes, you did have an arm hit, but all interceptions belong to the quarterback. 4 on the night for Purdy. Does this give you any concern moving forward when the lights do get very bright come playoff time, that something like this might be lurking under the surface?
Not necessarily, Joe. I think that it's more about what Baltimore does as a defense, disguising the blitzes, bringing pressure in exotic formats, and just really making life difficult on a quarterback, particularly when you get this is the thing about San Francisco and Brock Purdy. And this is not taking away from how good he is at what he does when he's on the field. But this team and this quarterback and the success that they've had over the past year plus has largely been while front running. When they get behind and they're forced to play from behind and they're forced to throw a ton and they're forced to, it changes the play calls for Kyle Shanahan, and it changes how Brock Purdy's going to act. And look, he was under absolute pressure in the pocket. So I don't panic about, oh boy, what happens if they get to the Super Bowl? Is he going to do this? I sort of think, man, Baltimore really wasn't getting its due in terms of what they do as a defense and how good they are as a defense, although obviously Emery and I both picked them to win.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you think about